So if you're gonna work with people, be in a relationship with anybody, long term, you have to learn about their weaknesses. It's more important to know a person's weakness than their strength. And this is why. People rarely hide their strengths, but people rarely flaunt their weaknesses. Most people are hiding their weaknesses. And because they're hiding it, there are some telltale signs that you could observe that indirectly tells you that somebody's hiding their weaknesses. Just like you could tell if somebody's hiding underwater, you don't have to look at their body. You could just look for the air bubbles that are popping up. Hiding weaknesses always has sign. If somebody's hiding behind a tree, you may not see them visually, but if you could sense their smell, or you could look at ultraviolet rays, or you could look at the way that the tree looks, and through that, maybe you could sense that there's somebody behind that, right? So even though people hide things, everything leaves marks. Everything leaves a mark and leaves clues. And so we're gonna discover what that is, because a lot of the times what we consider our strengths are really just weaknesses in disguise. Almost all the time, a lot of the times, right? So let's talk about that. Now, remember, this is much easier. Reading people and learning their weaknesses is much easier when you know them in a social circle. Meaning, when you know them in isolation through their friend, through like online dating, or maybe somebody recommended you somebody to hire, for example, you don't have that context, that social context. But when you know them through the friends and family, by you just knowing who their friends are, how their family members are, you have context that can be used to understand them in a holistic way. But when you know them from Bumblefuck and you have no network with them, you don't have that type of like feeling, touching grass type of connection with them. So it's almost like studying a tree without studying what other trees are around it, and without knowing what country is in and the type of climate. You need that context. So remember, it's much easier to start with the social circle. And the way to get information out of them is to always start by seeming interested in them. It always starts that way. The appearance of a sympathetic ear will spur anyone to talk. So just being interested, being curious, not raising any defenses will get them to start talking, right? And as they're talking to you, or as you're observing them talk to other people, you want to be able to stop. You want to be able to not pay attention to words as much, and give more emphasis on gestures and unconscious signals that they send out. Because these gestures and unconscious signals are things that they're doing unconsciously. Words are conscious. The paralanguage and your gestures are not conscious. You want to look for the unconscious signals. Those are the ones that tell you. Why? Because unconscious signals always reveals what the person is hiding. Why? Because humans have a deep need to reveal themselves. People don't want to, like deathbed confessions, right? People want to reveal even their dark side. They're yearning for somebody to know who they are. So because of that, their conscious mind might not be sending those signals out because they know of the consequences, but their unconscious mind, which is their body, will leak out those unconscious signals on your behalf. The key is to not only what you look for, which is the key, like the words and the weaknesses, but where and how you look. So you gotta look not at their words, but nonverbal cues, and not just look at them and listen to what they're saying so that you can respond. You have to listen with an open and a level, calm mind. If your mind is distracted, if you're thinking about what to say next, if you're thinking about yourself, you're not going to pay attention to their nonverbal cues. Like, nonverbal cues say so much about people, say so much that we tend to ignore it because we just don't know how to read those signals. So body language, facial expressions, and other nonverbal cues can tell you a lot about what makes a person uncomfortable or defensive. For instance, sudden changes in postures or avoidance of eye contact or fidgeting can indicate discomfort or potentially areas of sensitivity. For example, if I asked you, tell me about your ex, and the whole time you were animated, but then when I asked you about your ex, all of a sudden your voice, you start touching your face more, you start blinking more, you start looking around more, or maybe you just talk about it with less enthusiasm, and maybe you just change the topic. When that happens, a lot of people would just ignore it and think no, and not think much about it. You get what I'm saying? Oh, he just doesn't want to talk about it. But if you're actually paying attention, you'll notice that they were talking about it. They looked around. They were like, "Nice, he's a nice guy." The smile was fake. There was a lot of fidgety in the voice, and they changed the topic. But now, in your mind, you say that their ex is a sensitive subject, right? Or maybe when they talk about a war, like the Israeli and Palestinian stuff like that, they get very emotional. And now you know they have an emotional attachment to this, something you could use to understand them a little bit better or to influence them one way or another. But what happens is that we just don't really pay much attention to that. Or maybe we see it and we just assume it has nothing to do with who they are. That's the problem. We gather evidence and we just throw it away. And we rather pay attention to the words that they give us. All right, guys, we're going to have a brief intermission so that I could tell you guys about our new bundle that we're doing where you guys can purchase all of my courses and get it at a discount. So this bundle is pretty much the bundle where you could just buy all of my courses. You could buy Nice Guy, which is a training course on how to come across more assertive, how to come across more confident, how to not give off nice guy vibes. You guys can get access to Dark Game, which is my full dating course on how to meet women in different scenarios, how to attract women, how to make sure you don't come across as creepy, and essentially how to act like a man and not act like a doofus, to be quite honest with you. And you get all of these bonuses, which is the bonuses of Dark Game, the bonuses of Practical Mastery, which is about how to master a skill, Social Mastery, which is how to master your social life, and the Laws of Human Nature, which is a book club video that I had dissecting Robert Greene's book. All of this is naturally at around naturally is at $346, but you guys can purchase this bundle and get it at what's the price again? Get it at $238 pretty much. So you guys can purchase it right now. It's a money back 30-day money back guarantee. It's a good way to, rather than just buying them individually and paying extra, you guys can just purchase everything at a discount price. Now, the only thing I don't like is the fact that I'm giving you a lot of information at the same time. That makes me kind of scared because a lot of times people don't do the things that I teach when you get too much information. But I've gotten too many requests to do this, so I'm just satisfying you guys. Purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle. All right, let's continue with the video.